And there we are. Zulma Gonzalez's mic is all yours.
Hey, 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 a thankful Thursday to each and every only one of us, each and every only one of us. It's a wonderful day. It's a wonderful day. I've been listening in to the session before mine, and I heard a lot of great things, a lot of great things. There was discussion. The bottom line, Sharon said that this is a course in it's psycho spiritual. Yes, I already said that. I call it spiritual psychology. That's exactly what it is. This is a course in mind training, as we are always reminded. It's a course in mind training. So I am on my tablet today because, for reasons beyond my understanding, my computer doesn't want to stay connected to the internet. So and right now it's not connected to the internet. So we're going to see if we can make this happen on the tablet. Before I begin, I would like to dedicate, well, let me hit the share screen first. Let's see. I have a lot to figure out here on this tablet. Can I share? It's giving me share. Oh, interesting. Share screen. Let's see what this means. Nope. Start recording or casting with Zoom. Start recording or casting. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see what that means. I'm trying to figure this out. I came in to gather attempting to make this happen, and it's not happening like I desire. Oh well. So then that means that
Let me
I
make you
will not.
co-host and see if that helps. Because you should be able to share screen.
I am, but I'm doing it from a tablet. So it's asking me when I hit share screen, it's asking me what do I want to share? OneDrive, SharePoint, Google Drive,
What do you have
Box,
open? Do
Photo,
you have
Image.
your stuff open?
I have my PowerPoint open.
Yeah, so.
But it's not saying that. So I don't know what to do. No problem.
So I think if you just share, go ahead and share, and then you
Okay.
can select what you want to share. If it's already up,
I did. This is what I'm saying. When I hit share, it's offering me Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft SharePoint. I don't know if that SharePoint means anything. Maybe that's what. Oops. I don't know. I don't know. I'm clueless here. Try again. I'll hit share and I'll hit Microsoft SharePoint and see if that means anything. It doesn't seem to mean anything.
Tell me what your options are. Is one of the options
Microsoft
desktop?
OneDrive. No.
Try the
No, it's
OneDrive.
not. This is not Google. Try what?
Try the OneDrive, because your PowerPoint should be on your OneDrive.
All right, Microsoft OneDrive. All right, let's see. No, it's not on my OneDrive, actually. I had it on a flash drive.
Oh,
It's
okay.
actually on my tablet. No, I copied it to the tablet. Nevertheless, never and nonetheless, okay. I'm not going to concern myself with that. Let's see what happens. First, the one of the members of the Jackson 5, Tito Jackson, was in a car accident, had a heart attack, and his physical presence is no longer on the planet. I grew up with the Jackson 5, and And they were a vital part of my life coming up, because that was the fun. That was the fun. And I just wanted to honor and acknowledge that. In fact, my PowerPoint slides, some of them they involve the songs from the Jackson Five, and how we can and talking about them. Otherwise, I'm going to be reading today from a. Oh, I hope I can. I have to look on my phone. Oh, I'm having all. This is interesting and fun, people. I'll be reading from a book by Karen Casey called "Change Your Mind and Your Life Will Follow." Phenomenal. She uses the course, but not but she's not quoting the course per se. It's a phenomenal book for anyone who may or may not, or who may not be a student of the course. It is excellent. She does it in 12 steps. She usually talks about the 12 steps a little bit, and she talks about the course a little bit, but the way she explains this in this book, so only 100 and less than 130 pages, the way she explains in this book is phenomenal. So I'm going to recommend that. I'm going to read from that today, because of the computer, I've not been able to do as much as I'd wanted to. So, and it's just as well, because otherwise, I was able to put slides together and stuff, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to present them, and so therefore. Again, this is A Course in Miracles meets Science of Mind and Other Metaphysical Teachings. We are reminded that from the Egyptian proverb that the kingdom of heaven is within you, and whoever shall know himself shall find himself. The Course reminds us that the kingdom of God is you. And later on, it does say within you as well, but that we are the kingdom. Everything that we're looking for, Dr. Ernest Holmes says, we are already looking with. What we are looking for is what we are looking with. The kingdom of heaven is within you, and whoever shall know himself shall find it. We are reminded to mind our minds. Dr. Ernest Holmes teaches that to learn how to think is to learn how to live. The Course tells us that this is a course in mind training, and that all learning involves attention and study at some level. And I'm going to have to send a text message to Sharon to recommend that she watch the presentation I did on ADHD. ADHD stands for Accepting Divine Healing Daily. That belongs to Zulma. I made it up. Yep. I made it up. Accepting Divine Healing Daily. And I pulled things from the cognitive behavioral therapy and ADHD website, and the course, and a couple other people, and a couple other places, mostly the course, and I think it's mostly the course, and talked about the similarities there. Mind training is mind training, and it's what helps me to do what I do. Before I knew, when you realize that there's something going on and you can't figure out what it is, there are some areas, and it's funny because I was listening to someone talking earlier, just moments ago, about having ADHD and how it didn't work out for them in the workforce, and for somebody else how it didn't work for them in the workforce. But there's something about hyper focus in ADHD. That is, that which interests us, we can go to it and be with it, and it is the thing. It is all there is. It becomes to the point where we lose track of time and everything else. And that's a thing, that whole time thing. But that's what the hyper focus, the things that we are interested in, we can do. We can put our energy there. And the things that don't interest us, well, it shows. It shows. It doesn't interest me. I'm not doing it. Or if I can't do it perfectly, I'm not going to do it. And that's what it is. And fortunately, it's different for everyone in different areas of people's lives, so that I can talk to this person about, so you have tools and techniques for that thing. I want that thing. Yeah, you have tools and techniques over there for that thing. I want those tools and techniques. Anyway, I'm not even going to do all that. This is a course in miracles is a course in mind training, cognitive therapy. All learning involves attention and study at some level. If we're going to learn this, if I'm going to learn how to control my mind, how to manage my mind, how to train my mind, I have to be willing to do the work. Because the course reminds us that an untrained mind accomplishes nothing. Nothing. And Dr. Ernest says that trained thought is far more powerful than untrained, and the one who gives conscious power to his thought should be more careful what he thinks than the one who does not. See, the course talks about mind wandering. When people are in that, when we're in mind wandering, when we're not gathered, when we're not guarding our thoughts, we don't care. It's just, oh, whatever, whichever way the wind blows, I'll go that way. I'll toss and I'll go with the, ebb and flow, and I'll do all that. Trained thought is far more powerful than untrained. So it's important. It is essential that if we want how we want our life to be, that's the way we have to think and focus. That's where focus comes in. To be single-minded, let your eye be single, as it reads in the Bible, to just focus on one thing. In the course, it says, do only this. Do only this. So you're focusing on what you want. And the course asks the question, what for? What's the purpose? And purpose is meaning. So it's essential to know that guarding our thoughts is important. Avoiding mind wandering is important. Avoiding the sleep of forgetfulness. These things are important. Trained thought is far more powerful than untrained. And the one who gives conscious power to his thought should be more careful what he thinks than the one who does not. And then to add to that, Elizabeth Gilbert says that you need to learn how to select your thoughts, just the same way you select your clothes every day. This is a power you can cultivate if you want to control things in your life so bad. Work on the mind. That's the only thing you should be trying to control. And that's because, in truth, we have no control over other things. We have no control over others. We think we do. Just because I tell you to do something and you do it doesn't mean I've controlled you. It just means that you decided, because we're always deciding. Decisions are continuous. The course reminds us, you are always deciding what to do and what not to do. So if you do what I quote tell you to do, it's because it's a choice that you made. It's not based on what I said. And the course talks about conflict and how we do things. We do what we do, and what we're thinking aren't necessarily compatible. We're doing what we're thinking, but it may not be what we want to do. That's where conflict comes in. It's when we actually know the thing to do, but we're doing something otherwise. But while we're doing that, it's a choice that we made. And this is why there is no sacrifice. I love when I learned that in the course. There is no sacrifice. To think that, I could have done this, but I did this instead. No, there's no could have. There's no would have. There's no should have. All of that is fantasy. All of that is illusion. All of that is is just made up stuff. Because what is. I love earlier Sharon was talking about being in the present. How can we be anywhere but in the present? I am only here now. I may be thinking about something from a period of time that no longer exists, that no longer is. A period of time that no longer is, but it's not real. It's just a thought in my mind. Thoughts. Joel Goldsmith teaches that it is the mind that keeps itself stayed on God. It is with the mind that we think spiritual thoughts. And how else is it possible? How else is it possible? Dr. Ernest teaches also that thoughts and things are but two ends of the same proposition. Since it's impossible to stop thinking, we can't stop creating. It's impossible to stop thinking. The mind, the course teaches us, is always going. It's always going. It doesn't stop. It can't stop. It can't. Our choice is whether we shall create constructively or destructively. Backed up by William Walker Atkinson, who says the mental pattern must always precede the material form. And the course backs that up with all thinking produces form at some level. So we are asked to begin each day. Hi, Dove. I see you. Are you muted, sir? To begin each day with time devoted to the preparation of your mind to learn what each idea you will review that day can offer you in freedom and in peace. Begin each day with time devoted to the preparation of your mind. That's from the course. And okay, somebody, would everyone please mute because I'm getting feedback. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, back to my screen. Where was I? Oh, this is interesting. Okay. And from the Bible, if ye know these things, happy are ye if you do them. It's not enough to read. Oh, I can read all day. And say, oh, and it's do only this, and then turn around and go do that. If you know these things, happy are ye if you do them. So I was looking at songs from the Jackson 5. Some of their originals, at least one I know is not. From the song, oh, well, you know what? I'll come back to that. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, I'll do this one now. I'll be there.
When Apocalypse Now came out, it was trashed by a lot of them. It was very controversial. Got booed at some film festivals, and people at the theater asking what
Dove,
happened.
would you please mute, or whoever's listening to a video, would you please mute yourself?
It seems
Dove.
He's willing to make these.
Lynn, would you mute that, please?
I mean, usually,
or Mickey, would one of you please mute him?
Well, it meant a lot to me because, his films, changed cinema.
Lynn, are you there?
Was one of the best shooting experiences I ever
had. Mickey, I need somebody to mute Dove.
There isn't really a conventional way to make a film. We're all just making it up.
I'm going to call my.
Sorry, I did.
Thank you. Oh, Sharon, you're here. Very cool. Thank you. I really was appreciating what you were saying this morning, Sharon. I really was. I'm going to go back to the recording for that. About the present. That was huge. And that this is a course in spiritual psychology. It absolutely is. It's a course in mind training. That just makes sense. All right, so let's go back. So from the song I'll Be There by the Jackson 5, and I'm only taking the parts that matter for us. It says, you and I must make a pact. And I'm hearing the voice of the course. I'm hearing the spirit talk. You and I must make a pact. We must bring salvation back. Where there is love, I'll be there. And as I was listening to the song and the word salvation, when it came up, of course, I thought about the course, bringing salvation back is only the reminder that we are already saved. There's nothing to be saved from, essentially. that there is nothing to be saved from. Bringing salvation back means recognizing that everything that's happening, I'm doing it to myself. Everything that I think is happening to me, I'm doing to myself. That there's nothing out there. Oh, I'm having this conversation with a family member who's having a time getting that. Reading from just the one sentence from Dr. Ernest Holmes in his book, How to Change Your Life. He says, my thought is in control of my experience, and I can direct my thinking. And then he says, read that again and then say it aloud, because we don't get that. My thought is in control of my experience, and I can direct my thinking. The Course says I'm responsible. I'm responsible. Everything that seems to happen to me, it's my doing. I'm making that happen. It's what I consciously or unconsciously need, don't understand or realize that I need for my highest and best. Everything the Course says is for our good. Everything is good. Everything is God. Everything is life. Everything simply is. And wish world is not a real place. I say that all the time. So salvation is simply knowing that everything is the way exactly the way it's supposed to be, that there's nothing to be saved from. And that everything that I think is happening to me, I am doing it to myself. Where there is love, I'll be there. The Course reminds us that perfect love casts out fear. That came from the Bible initially. Perfect love casts out fear. So if there's fear, there's not perfect love. In the way, it's not perfect. Means complete. Perfect means complete. Perfect means whole. Perfect. It's one. There's nothing outside of. There's simply God. So fear is a made up thing, and we do it so that we can think that we're separate. The song continues. I'll reach out my hand to you. I'll have faith in all you do. Just call my name and I'll be there. The Course teaches that I will honor and uphold whatever's happening with you, whatever you're doing, but only if it's true. Only if it's true. I'll respect it. I'll sit back and I'll wait for you to figure it out, but only if it's true, because the Spirit only knows what's true. God only knows what's true, and only what's true is true. Truth simply is, like God simply is, like love simply is. The song continues, and I'm hearing Holy Spirit. I'll be there to comfort you. In the Bible, the Holy Spirit is referred to as the comforter. I'll be there to comfort you. Build my world of dreams around you. And I'm talking about the happy dreams, so to speak. I'm using from the song, because remember, this is a song. These are lyrics from a song. So not to be confused with, when we talk about dreams, that we're only dreaming. Got that. But we have a choice of how to dream. But if hypothetically speaking, the Holy Spirit could dream, hear it. Build my world of dreams around you. And then I'm saying, I'm so glad that I found you. I'll be there with a love that's strong. I'll be your strength. That's God talking. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. Now, I had no idea what words were going to come out of my mouth. That's how, when I was putting these songs together, I was just looking at it and taking pieces of these songs, and I'm appreciating the moment. Sharon, this is what ADHD does, by the way. Oh, the creativity that comes. We don't We never know what anything is for. And I know that I don't know what anything is for. I know that I don't know what the next thing is that's going to come out of my mouth. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this creativity. Might want to look up online the benefits of ADHD. And I call it accepting divine healing daily. The benefits of accepting divine healing daily. There are benefits indeed of accepting. What could you not accept? If you would knew that all of it, the so-called ADHD, the so-called whatever medications, the so-called this, the so-called conditions, and all of it is gently planned by one whose only purpose is our good. And all right, I'll come back to this. I can go on. I can go on and not read another thing today. I'll be there with a love that's strong. I'll be your strength. I'll keep holding on. Which then brings me to the song that I was going to play, and that was Bridge Over Troubled Water. And some of the words from that song are, when you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I can just hear this in tune with the chorus. I can hear the Spirit comforting me. I can feel the comfort. I can feel it. Speaking for myself, it doesn't have to be a feeling. It becomes a intuitiveness, because we're reminded that we don't know in flesh. We don't know what anything is for, but Spirit knows. It's in that state of grace forever. It's in the state of grace all the time, and it always intuitive. It's an intuition. It's like holy instance come, holy instance come, and holy instance come. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side when times get rough and friends just can't be found. Oh, and the course reminds us of the appointed friend. There's only one, because anything out here, like as the song is saying, friends just can't be found. I may have a situation and I make a phone call. Oh, straight to voicemail. Oh, I go to make a phone call. Oh, they're out of town. Oh, I go to make a phone call. Their phone's not on. I go to text somebody. No response. I get online. Can't find anybody. When friends just can't be found. And that's going to happen, because everything that we can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch is temporary. It comes to pass. It comes to pass. It comes to pass. When times get rough and friends just can't be found, Spirit reminds us, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Right there, the wind beneath my wings, all the time. All the time. That's the one thing I can call on. Just call my name, the song before this, the song from I'll Be There. Just call my name, Spirit, Holy Spirit, help me now. I need you now. I need you now. There's a song by that title, I Need You Now. Spirit, just call on Spirit. Call on God's name, which is your own name. When you're down and out, the song continues. When you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. Always there. Always there. That's the one thing. God is always there, ever present, ever present. The song continues, I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. I wish you could have seen the slides, because I have this bridge over troubled waters. Maybe I'll anyway. When darkness comes, those moments that seem that we can't seem to see our way out, when we are in grief because we're holding grievances. Let grievance go, set it aside like a bridge over troubled water. Spirit is always there, always there. God is always there, always, because I am part of God. It's that remembrance. It's that remembrance, even when darkness comes, even when pain seems to be all around, even then, God is always there. That's the time for me to remember that the sense of separation from God, the sense of separation from the solutions, the sense of separation from truth is the only thing I need correct. And I can make it go away. I can ease my own pain, but I need to be there for whatever the reason that I need to be there, for whatever the reason that I need to be in that darkness at that time. Again, it's all good. It is all good because it's still all for my learning. Let all things be exactly as they are, and know that all things are lessons that God would have us learn. All things. Lessons. So when darkness come and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. That's just a reminder that no matter what's happening, no matter what's going on, God's got me. God's got me in the midst of all of it. I am it. I'm reminded that I am part of God. I'm it. I'm part of it. So I'm it. Co-creator, if you will. Sail on, the song goes. Sail on by. Your time has come to shine, shine, shine. The voice of the chorus says, I am the way, the truth, and the light. And because I'm part of you, you're part of me, you too are the way, the truth, and the light. The workbook lesson reminds us that light and joy and peace abide in me. They are what I am. They are what I am. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am the light of the world. Workbook lesson 61 says that who is the light of the world except God's Son? This then is merely a statement of the truth about yourself. The song, your time has come to shine, shine, shine. And the course reminds us in the same lesson 61 that this is the opposite of a statement of pride, of arrogance, or of self-deception. It doesn't describe the self-concept you made. It does not refer to any of the characteristics with which you have endowed your idols. It refers to you as you were created by God. It simply states the truth. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams, all your happy dreams are on their way. They're already here. You just have to look and see. Already here. Because being and having is everything. We have everything because we are everything. My dreams are already here. See how they shine. Oh, and if you need a friend. Oh, gosh. This is actually making me tearful. Oh. I'm sailing right behind like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind. This is a course in mind training. The peace of God is shining in me now. I want the peace of God. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind. Mm. I really could have ended with those, but it came up this way. This is the way it is. It's the way it is. In the song ABC, and by the way, these are Jackson 5 songs. Jackson 5 did a beautiful rendition of Bridge Over Troubled Water. I know it's not the Simon and Garfunkel rendition. I know they did it first, but the Jackson 5 did a beautiful rendition of Bridge Over Troubled Water. In the song ABC, it starts, you went to school to learn things you never ever knew before. But then the spirit says, come on, let me show you what it's all about. Because without the roots of love every day, the education ain't complete. That's how the song goes. Without the roots of love every day, the education ain't complete. And we're asked to sing a simple melody. Sing a simple melody. That's how easy love can be. Sing a simple melody, because that's how easy love can be. And the last from the Jackson 5 songs, the song is titled, Can You Feel It? And some of the lyrics are, if you look around, the whole world's coming together now. And that, to me, is realizing that there is no world. There is no world in essence, that it's all one. It's all one. It's all one. It's all coming together now. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Feel it in the air. The wind is taking it everywhere. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? All the colors of the world should be loving each other wholeheartedly. All the colors of the world. This song came out, oh my God, early 80s, maybe? Yeah, I think. All the colors of the world should be loving each other wholeheartedly, completely. One. We're talking about the oneness. We're talking about the sonship. We're talking about accepting everything and everyone as they are, as it is. Let all things be exactly as they are. Again, all things are lessons that God would have us learn. Again, what could you not accept if you but knew that all things, past, present, and to come are gently. Remember, like the wind beneath our wings, gently planned by one, who only wants good for us. Who, it's all good. We have to learn to see. I have to learn to see that it really is all good. It's all, because it all just is. And if I could substitute the word good for is, all good is, God is, it is, all there is. I believe it was Deepak Chopra that said, I am that, you are that, all is that, and that is that. From Deepak Chopra. I just learned that one on Sunday. I like that. So all the colors of the world should be loving each other wholeheartedly. Yes, it's all right. It's all right. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing to correct. There's nothing to forgive. This is why the only thing I have to do is accept the atonement for myself. I have to remember to keep undoing and undoing and undoing. To atone is to undo. Accepting the atonement for myself is accepting that everything that I see, it comes to pass. It comes to pass. It keeps coming to pass. To forgive is to overlook. To remember then that there is nothing to forgive, that the only thing that I need to forgive is the idea that something should be different than the way it is. That someone should be different than the way they are. That I should struggle and fight and worry and be in fear because something is not happening the way I think it should. The Course asked the question about anger. Isn't anger merely something happening in a way that you think that it should be different? You think that it should be that way and it's not that way, so you get angry about it? That's all anger is. And a way to try to make you feel guilty because of it. You didn't do what I thought you should do. There's my should word. Keep shooting on stuff. Keep shooting on stuff. Keep shooting on stuff. You're bound to fail. You're bound to fail. That's idol worship. Shooting is idol worship. It's thinking that something should replace God, that something is supposed to be what it's not, that something is not supposed to be God. That's idol worship. Shooting, coulding, woulding is idol worship. That just came to me. I have to write that down. I'll have to go back and listen to this recording myself. Take my message to your brother and tell him twice. And this is from the song, Can You Feel It? Take my message to your brother and tell him twice. Spread the word and try to teach the man who's hating his brother when hate won't do. Because we're all the same. This is from the song. This is from a song. It's reminding us. Spread the word and teach the man who's hating his brother when hate won't do. Because we're all the same. All the colors of the world should be loving each other wholeheartedly. Yes, it's all right. Take my message to your brother and tell him twice. That's why I'm repeating it. Spread the word and try to teach the man who's hating his brother when hate won't do, because we're all the same. Yes, the blood inside of me is inside you. The blood inside of me is inside of you because it's all one. How is it, talking about blood, that I share the same blood type? Now, I'm talking tangible stuff now. That I share the same blood type with hundreds of thousands of millions of people. How is that possible? How is it that you share the same blood type? Mine is A positive. If yours happens to be that, right on. But if it's something else, but you share the same blood type with people you'll never meet, ever. How is that possible? What are we saying? That my parents are their parents? That their parents are my parents? See, we're talking tangible stuff here. See, the tangible is it's like a container. It's like a container. It houses whatever it houses. It's holding whatever it houses. But the container itself is temporary. Only what's in the container has meaning, but the container itself is nothing. It's that empty shell. It's that frame that the Course talks about. It's the lifeless body, the corpse. It's nothing. It's temporary. All of it. All of it. As I'm looking around at all my stuff, it's temporary. And I'm making it so. I'm getting rid of more and more stuff. Now tell me, the song asks again, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? And that's my tribute this morning to the Jackson 5. And now I am going to begin to read, and we'll read probably from this every week because I absolutely love this book. It's called Change Your Mind and Your Life Will Follow. 12 simple, what is it exactly? With 12 simple principles by Karen Casey. For anybody to care, the book came out in 2023. In 2023. A preface revisit. Nope, I'm not going to do the preface. I'm not even going to bother with that. I'm going to go right into the book. If you want to read the preface, revisit it, you'll have to go buy the book. I'm going into chapter 1 because I'm not even going to read her introduction. Nope, not doing that either. It's a lot of pages. Chapter 1, tend your own garden. It's easy to make other people the focus of our attention, isn't it? Women especially are raised to do so. Let me go to the Zoom room so I can see. Okay, there I am. We judge, we criticize, sometimes audibly, through anger, manipulation, shame, or guilt. We try to control the people sharing our journey. These are always wrong choices and never, quote, the work we have been called to do. Focusing outside ourselves and attempting to control other people is a clever avoidance technique. Temporarily, at least, it helps us escape having to look at our own sometimes troubling behavior. And that's what I said earlier. I can try to control you, but the truth is I can't. But I have to struggle to control you. It's like, keeping you in prison. I have to stay there and guard, be the guard. I'm in putting myself in bondage, attempting to keep you there. The book continues, the irony is that we always see in others the very behaviors that we need to pay some attention to in ourselves. Always. And is that what the Course says? It's not you. It's always me. It's absolutely always me. And Karen Casey continues, the people in our lives, family and friends, neighbors, even the strangers at the grocery or ahead of us in the traffic jam are mirrors that reveal who we are. Our reactions to them show us. Our reactions to them show us what we need to work on in ourselves. And as we release them to live their own lives, let them go. We can get back to the business of controlling the only thing we really can control, our own responses to life. I love this. I love this book. I love her. I love her writing. Karen Casey is the one who wrote Codependent No More. Oh no, is that her? No, that might be Melody Beattie. Never mind. Anyway, Karen Casey, phenomenal writer. I do have something else by her. I don't know what. It's a physical book. So anyway, she says the only thing we really can control, our own responses to life. Okay, but how? Simple. We have to learn some new behaviors and then practice them. So what the Course teaches us is that all things produce form at some level. and what we do comes from what we think. What we do comes from what we think. So what Karen Casey is saying, that we need to do something differently. Cultivating new behaviors. Attend to your life, no one else's. Many of us acquired the habit of interfering in other people's affairs early on in life. And I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I used to be a fix-it girl. I had to fix you. You know, you have a problem, let me fix it. I have advice. I have this. I have it. I don't. It doesn't matter that you didn't ask for it. Remember this chapter title, "Tend Your Own Garden." Okay. We heard our parents speaking critically about their friends or other family members or neighbors for their actions or opinions. Obsessively watching the behavior of friends, family, or even complete strangers and longing to change or control their behavior is a great catalyst for inner turmoil. This goes hand in hand with the misguided idea that we can change anyone but ourselves. Oh. That's what we think. What workbook lesson is that? 70. I'm going to have to find that. 71, is it? No. In workbook lesson 70, it reads, the ego's plan for salvation centers around holding grievances. It maintains that if someone else spoke or acted differently, if some external circumstance or event were changed, you would be saved. Thus, the source of salvation is constantly perceived as outside yourself. Each grievance you hold is a declaration and an assertion in which you believe that says, if this were different, I would be saved. The change of mind necessary for salvation is thus demanded of everyone and everything except yourself. Is that not what she just said? She said, the misguided idea that we can change anyone but ourselves. You can spend years trying to change a spouse or some other friend, but what a relief to finally learn that the affairs of others are not ours to control or even to judge. Being in charge of ourselves is enough. Is that not from chapter 21, from the responsibility for sight, which tells us exactly that I am responsible for what I see. I'm in charge of me. That's it. So Casey continues, it bears repeating. We are not in charge of others, exclamation point. Not their behavior, their thoughts, their dreams, their problems, their successes, or their failures. Even the children we parent have their own journey to make, and our so-called control over them is, in fact, an illusion. We can set an example for them. We can suggest a set of behaviors. We can demonstrate a code of ethics. We can even require that they live by certain house rules while under our roof. But finally, it is they who will decide who they want to be and what they want to do, regardless of our efforts. And for that, we will become grateful in time. And there's a passage in the Bible that reads, train up a child in which he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. That's not necessarily true. Some people go the exact opposite way. And sometimes that's a good thing. Because if we've been trained, if we've been trained to believe that we're supposed to control others, that what we think doesn't produce form at some level, that our thoughts don't matter in that regard, our thoughts don't mean anything, But oh, they're not neutral. They're not neutral. But if we've been taught that, then it's really, really good that we get to change the way we think, that we can depart from the old way of being taught. So she says, and for that we will become grateful in time. She says, let's celebrate the fact that we are in charge of no one but ourselves. It relieves us of a heavy burden and a thankless job, one that never blesses us. That's important. It doesn't, we really don't gain. The ego may think, oh, I've done something. You are the way you are because of what I've done. You are the way you are because I've taught you. You are the way you are. The decision to take on the teaching, whatever it is, the decision to do, again, is ultimately the individual's. So we are in charge of no one but ourselves. It relieves us of a heavy burden and a thankless job, one that never blesses us. Taking control of every thought we have. Taking control of every thought we have and every action we take, and being willing to relinquish the past while savoring the present will assuredly keep us as busy as we need to be. And that's true. I don't have time to focus on you. I had to focus on me. I was thinking about, being here this morning and what I was going to present and this, that, and the other. And then my computer decided it was going to do what it was going to do. And it just changed everything. And I had to then focus on, what am I going to do? What am I going to present? Spirit, help me. How do I go about doing this? I wasn't planning on being on my tablet. That was not the plan. But lo and behold, here it is. And here I am. Taking control of every thought we have and every action we take, and being willing to relinquish the past while savoring the present will assuredly keep us as busy as we need to be. Doing these things, and only these things, is why we are here. It's only when we live our own lives and manage our own affairs, freeing others to do the same, that we will find the peace we seek and so deserve. I love that. Subheading, let go and let others be themselves. So many of us spend countless hours or weeks, or in some sad cases, years, trying to make someone be who we want them to be, or do what we think is in their own, or perhaps our, best interests, only to repeatedly fail in our attempts. Oh my goodness. I remember my former stepdaughter when she was a little thing, maybe 5, 6, and it was dinner time, and I, put the food and, gave her a plate of food, and, I said, eat your dinner. And she said, I'm not hungry. What do you mean you're not hungry? Eat your dinner. I'm not hungry. And I tell you, we sat there for hours. It was way past her bedtime. Tears just streaming down her face. And I realized I couldn't force this child to eat. And I thought about it afterwards. Would I want to be forced to eat? We don't have that kind of control. Thinking it was in her best interest. It was not. It was not. I didn't want to seem like a bad parent and not feed the child. It had nothing to do with me. She wasn't hungry, period. So it's just sometimes we do these things only to repeatedly fail in our attempts. This is a tragedy as well as a misspent life. A misspent life. It's time to let go. She goes on, I was first introduced to the idea of letting go in a 12-step support group, and I was very slow to grasp the meaning. Wasn't it my job to guide a loved one's decisions and actions? To control them if I could? I had always thought that not doing so was selfish and uncaring. Thankfully, what I finally learned was that our spouses, our friends, our family, our neighbors, even the strangers crossing our path, must be who they are. Let all things be exactly as they are, the Course reminds us. Must be who they are, not who we think they should be. Again, there we go, shoulding. I think it should be this way. I think you should act that way. I think. I'm turning the screen around and see. Okay, it does have me at the top. We're good. We're good. Okay. Trying to get some more something here. Maybe I should have done better leaving well enough alone, huh? All right. Okay. And I'll continue. They must make their own mistakes, and through what they learn, have reason to celebrate their own successes. It's not my job. It's not my job. I don't like this. I don't like this view. I'm sorry, family. My brain is acting up. I love it. I love it, and I'm laughing at it at the same time. My brain is acting up. It's got me wanting to do what I wanted to do, and all of a sudden something doesn't feel right to me. Okay. So I'll continue. There are many reasons for letting go of this futile behavior, but the most important ones are that we will never succeed in controlling others and never experience peace in our own lives if we are always focused on how other people are having, if we are always focused on how other people are living or how we think they should be living. There we go, shoulding again. Keep your should to yourself. You're too full of should. That's your problem. That's my problem. Too full of should. Keep your should to yourself. If we want to be peaceful, we must let go of how others choose to live and take care of business in one life only, our own. I love this book. I already said that. I am going to end up reading the whole thing here. I am. Subheading, get out of the center of other people's lives. Just as no one else can productively or peacefully be the total focus of our lives, we cannot waste precious time thinking we are or should be the center of someone else's life either. And some of us have, we have stories. We all have stories of when we've done that. We have focused on somebody else's something, and it was driving us nuts. We were driving ourselves nuts with it. Focusing on what somebody else was supposed to be doing, thinking that we had the answer to somebody else's life, watching somebody, go down, and we thought it was our job to pick them up, and all it was doing is bringing us down too. So she says, we cannot waste precious time thinking we are or should be the center of someone else's life either. That may come as a blow to your ego, but it's time to learn this important truth. This does not mean we should quit interacting with people or shut them out in order to preempt being shut out. Nor does it mean we should ignore how other people are thinking and behaving for fear we will seek unhealthy dependency on them. Observing others can be both edifying and enlightening. It simply means getting perspective on our role in all interactions and understanding where our responsibility for action ends and the other person's begins. We're not enmeshed. We're not enmeshed. It's not, I'm talking about bodies here. I'm talking about bodies. It's not, we are all on our own path. We're all heading in the same direction because God is the source. God is, our ideas don't leave their source. We got that. But in physical, in form here, we all have our own way to do what we do, to get where we're going, to think what we want to think, to work it out for ourselves. I have to accept the atonement for myself. I can't accept the atonement for you, and you can't accept the atonement for me. I have to accept my sole responsibility, the Course teaches, is to accept the atonement for myself. My sole responsibility. Becoming entangled, the book continues, becoming entangled in other people's actions, dreams, or dramas bind us to them in emotionally unhealthy ways and prevents the growth we deserve. Unfortunately, many of us mistake being enmeshed for feeling safe. I didn't realize that word was there. I just said that, enmeshed. We want people around us who will pay us constant attention, who will make no plans that don't include us, have no thoughts that aren't shared. But that's not relationship. That's dependence. It is, I love this, unholy connection, what we call the special relationships in the course. Relationships that truly bring us to peace are interdependent. They allow us to connect while still living and honoring our own lives and letting our learning partners do the same. Isn't that what the course teaches? That they are our teachers. Everybody is everyone is our teacher. Our learning partners, she says, do the same. Subheading, take no hostages. Many of us think our most meaningful work has to do with minding other people's business. Why is it so hard to let other people have their own journey? Why do we persist in interfering in other people's lives, especially when we reap so few benefits? Because our parent did it is not reason enough. We no doubt observed our parents doing many things that we have chosen to avoid, so there must be another reason. After nearly 3 decades of emotional and spiritual growth through 12-step programs and other spiritual pathways, I have concluded that we mind other people's business. We take hostages, we take hostages, so to speak, out of our own insecurity. We get personally invested in other people and the outcomes of their actions because we see those outcomes as defining our lives in some way, as taking from us or adding to us some heretofore unrealized value. We think basically that if you took my advice that you didn't ask for, and or even if you did ask, if you took my advice and you followed it and it worked for you, now I can take the credit for it. Well, yeah, she would not have if I hadn't That's just the ego talking. Again, the decision was made by the individual. The book continues, how sad that we perceive our own well-being as so tied to the decisions, even occasional whims of others. But we do it again and again, and our lives are never better for it, at least in the long run. In the short run, trying to help a loved one live his or her life may seem like the right thing to do. It may even be engaging for a while, but taking charge of our own lives is as much work as any one of us needs to experience. The work of someone else's life belongs to that person and God. In fact, thinking of God, if even just occasionally, in the midst of all our experiences, those that involve others and those that involve us alone, can change our perspective entirely. See, here we go. This is why the habit of engaging with God keeps us continually remembering. It keeps us remembering. It keeps us remembering the truth of what we are and the truth of what others are, that they are what we are, and everyone is on their own path, their own journey. She says, no experience is mystifying for long if we remember who is orchestrating it. Yeah, if we remember that God is all in all, then we can back off, become more accepting, become more forgiving, become more, be more in our own salvation, realizing that this is me doing it to me. It has nothing to do with you. She continues, it is important to remember, of course, that accepting that God is in charge of everyone's life doesn't mean we have nothing to do. Indeed, footwork, some seemingly trivial and some quite specific and elaborate, is always necessary. What does the Course say? An untrained mind accomplishes nothing. An untrained mind accomplishes nothing. So this is we all learning involves attention and study at some level. So something. We must be accountable, the book continues. We must be accountable in our own lives, moment by moment, and demonstrate this by doing the next right thing. But God is ever present to guide us and everyone else too. God is ever present to guide us and everyone else too. I'm trying to keep track of time here because I have nothing in front of me that shows time. Let's see. All right. Never is any one of us out of his or her range. That's in quotation marks. Never is anyone, quote, out of his or her range. Never. It might seem to us that someone is on the wrong path, that they're doing the wrong thing, that we think that we should correct them. Oh, does not the correction of error teach us that if I think that you are wrong, I'll go back to the beginning of that sentence. I think. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. And if I think there is something wrong with you, I need to look at that. I need to look at what I'm thinking and be willing to see peace instead of that. So that was chapter 1. I'm going to go into chapter 2. I still have 9 minutes or so. Stop focusing on problems. This is chapter 2. Stop focusing on problems so their solutions can emerge. I'm going to pause right there. Workbook lessons 79 and 80 in the course. And I love them. I absolutely love just the titles of those 2 sections. Workbook lesson 79 says, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. And that begins, a problem cannot be solved if you do not know what it is. Even if it is really solved already, you will still have the problem because you will not recognize that it has been solved. And then workbook lesson 80 goes into that. It says, let me recognize my problems have been solved. If you are willing to recognize your problems, you will recognize that you have no problems. I'm going to stop right there. Go back to the book, excuse me. The chapter title, Stop Focusing on Problems so Their Solutions Can Emerge. Lots of folk think that they need to attack their problems in order to resolve them. They will study a problem, analyze it from myriad angles, troubleshoot it, utilize so-called problem-solving techniques that may have appeared successful before, without realizing that within every problem lies its solution. Just like the answer to every prayer is in the prayer itself. The answer to every prayer is in the prayer. So she says within every problem lies its solution. That's right. Problems are only as big and as real as we make them. In fact, they only exist if we allow our egos to create them, and then we feed them through our incessant attention. Yep, we'll say what grows? What we feed. What we feed grows. What we focus on expands. She says, take a look at the following suggestions for changing how to look at the, quote, imagined problems in your life. And never doubt that by changing your mind, you can change every experience in your life. Cultivating new behaviors. This is quit making a big deal out of ordinary situations. She says, okay, sounds good, but what's an ordinary situation? Being placed on indeterminable hold while trying to find out why a package has not arrived, for example, seeking help when your computer crashes in the middle of a project for work, dealing with a house remodeling project that is woefully behind schedule and the workmen have failed to make an appearance for more than a week, getting in the wrong line at the grocery, the one where the 3 people ahead of you forgot an item and had to run back to get it, causing you to be late to meet a friend or to pick up your child from daycare. And let's not forget the traffic jam, particularly when you are already running late. All of these extremely ordinary situations can become big problems if we let them, but we don't have to let them. The only real problem situations are the ones that place our lives in jeopardy, and even those might be perceived as opportunities for new growth. She says, I remember a very wise man I taught with at the University of Minnesota saying that he used every traffic jam as an opportunity for pray for all the people in all the cars ahead of him. He said it immediately changed how he felt. There's a book titled The Gentle Art of Blessing, or the Gentle Art of Blessing. And basically it says, bless everything. Bless everything. You'll feel better. That's the thing. You'll feel better. He says it immediately changed how he felt. He also had the feeling that his prayers helped to loosen up traffic too. One can never know if that's subjectively true, but simply feeling better from taking an action like prayer whenever one experiences, quote, a problem, close quote, makes doing it worthwhile. Prayer certainly never hurt a situation or a person. Quite the contrary. Let's make the decision to joyfully accept all situations, the lines, the traffic jams, the downed computers, and the rest, as opportunities to include God in our lives in that moment, and then wait for the change in perception that will assuredly come. Our lives change when our perceptions change. This is an absolute that we can count on. Is that not the course? Am I not reading the course through this woman's book? I love it. I love it. Next subheading, stop overreacting. Many years ago, as I was finishing up in the PhD program at the University of Minnesota, I had a really frightening experience that taught me something about overreacting. All I needed was to get my dissertation approved by all 5 professors who sat on my committee. 4 of the members approved it in a timely fashion. The 5th professor dragged his feet. Naturally, I assumed he was not going to approve it, but I couldn't even get him to make an appointment with me. My dissertation advisor suggested I set for my orals anyway. I did, and then pleaded with the holdout to meet with me. He finally agreed, and I went to his office, a bit fearful but hopeful. His first words were, "This has got to be rewritten." I was stunned and terrified. I sat quiet, still for a moment, trying to collect my thoughts, which were bouncing from one scary scenario to another. I wanted to scream, call him horrible names, and run from his office. I wanted to shame him, since 4 of his colleagues had already approved my work in glowing terms and within the appropriate timeline. But before saying anything, I took a deep breath, and then a miracle occurred. Some force within me, we know it was God, right? Some force within me took over my thoughts, and I quietly suggested to him that we review his objections together. I was not sure where those words came from. See, I can see peace instead of this. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Only moments before, she continues, I had wanted to scream obscenities and run, but I remained calm. I didn't overreact. In fact, I didn't even react. I simply responded to his, quote, attack, close quote, calmly. What happened next was that we went through every one of his concerns in the 300-page dissertation, and I addressed each one with explanations I didn't even actually hear. I could never have repeated them, nor could I tell my husband one word I had said when I got home. It felt like an out-of-body experience, as it was, because she moved out of the way. She let the Spirit in, let the Holy Spirit take over. She says, I watched myself explain away his criticism, and 3.5 hours later, he approved my work in glowing terms. I left his office exhilarated but very confused. I knew I didn't know how to answer his questions, but somewhere within me, the answer did reside. That takes me to, I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do because he who directs me. How's that go? But I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do.
He who sent me will
I will,
direct me.
yes, thank you. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. That's what was happening. She was healed as she let God teach her to heal. She was able to calm down, turn it around. She was able to see peace instead of what she was seeing. Oh, and in this moment, I am seeing peace because it's time for me to give up the mic. I made it. We did it. Yay. I will continue with this book next Thursday. I love this book. Again, the title, Change Your Mind and Your Life Will Follow by Karen Casey. It's a great book. She talks just a tiny bit about the 12 steps. She does mention the course in here. I recommend it to anybody and everybody. And with that, Lynn, here's the mic.
Thank you so much, Zulma. And